Sports Entertainment Network. Hello to you, E of Entertainment. What about this, Brian? We've got a 5-time ARIA award-winning artist, an ARIA Hall of Famer, as a founding member of the great Cold Chisel, where they have sold almost 7 million albums. Tucker's daughter, Bo River, never before, an Australian music icon in studio. Brian and I are very pleased to say a very special welcome. Ian Moss, welcome to the Run Home with Joel and Fletch.
I'm glad that guy too.
Are you wow.
Nice to be here.
Yes.
I want to start with this. Firstly, you've just cracked 70.
Yeah.
And I look at you, and you're not presenting as what most people expect to see of a 70-year-old rocker. You look sublime.
Got a good hairstylist.
Mate, you look great.
No, I mean, try and keep moving, keep active. I'm not a fitness freak, but I do lots of walking and hit the gym.
Yeah, you look great, mate.
Yeah, you got to keep moving.
So, Mossy, are you? You've got this. What is it at the barracks? So, what are you going to perform?
Yeah.
Are you just by yourself? Are you with other artists?
No, not at the barracks on North Manly, the North Head there. That's tomorrow night. There's two artists on tomorrow, or three, but Mark Seymour, he's with his band.
Yeah.
And I'm there with my band.
Yep.
And I've got a 5-piece band, essentially, doing all most of the songs on my Matchbook album, plus I chuck in a couple of Chisel things, Bo River, Choir Girl, and to round the show off.
I was going to ask you that. So, did you write those songs, and are you allowed to perform other Chisel songs?
Yeah. Look, I mean, anyone can perform any song. You can't really stop anyone performing a song. Well, to answer your first question, I Tucker's Daughter, I co-wrote with Don Walker. Bo River, I wrote on my own. Something like Choir Girl, which is a favourite of mine to do with the band, is actually a Don Walker song.
Right.
But no, the only where it comes down, if you actually record someone else's song, then you've got to make sure that you get the you got to at least notify that person's publishing company.
Yep.
So if there's any money earned off that recording,
then
the people that wrote the song get looked after.
Ian, can I ask you this? So when we hear artists like yourself saying, we wrote that song, what's the order of operation? So is the instrumental part done first? Are the words, the lyrics done first? So when you say you wrote a song, what are you specifically talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, barely. Write implies you've actually picked up a pen and put it to paper. But I guess at some stage, when you get all the ideas in your head, and more often than not, it'll be, the old adage, 99% hard work, 1% inspiration is true. You get an idea, but it's something, something will lock into you with the idea. You've got something, but you've got to put the work into extrapolate it into a song. Quite often, it might be just one line of melody, it might be one line of words, and they might be just an ad-lib thing, or you might say, well, if those words, maybe they're there for a reason, so you start extrapolating on those things. So it's a combination. Sometimes you've written all the music, and you've got a few lines of work, then you've got words, and you've got to put in the hard work of finishing off the words. More often than not, you probably get all the music done.
The music done first. So let's just go back to, your first big solo song. You've left Cold Chisel, and Tucker's Daughter explodes. Goes to number 2, I think, in the charts. Take us through that journey for that particular song.
Yeah, that was over a few months. It was sort of in bits and pieces because, the song, as a lot of songs are, they've got a verse, they've got a chorus, and then they'll have a bridge section, which is something that occurs just once and takes a song off on a different chorus for a minute and then comes back. For me, it was I was just writing bits and pieces. I'd sort of written what ended up being in the song was the bridge, and then the next thing that came along was probably the chorus. At that point in time, I'm not really connecting the two pieces of music at all. And then at some point I realised, hang on, that's going to go well with that.
Oh, right.
Maybe it's just one song that's been trying to come out, and then the third bit comes along and. Essentially, you bang it all together and swap things around a bit and do this and send off to I got stuck with the lyrics we're talking Tucker's Daughter, for example, and the thing was I got really stuck with the lyrics, and I just enlisted the help of a great lyricist, Don Walker, and he said, look, send me a rough, just chuck it. This is before emails and emailing MP3s. 88. So I was in Los Angeles. So I had to do a cassette for him and send it back to him. And he said, just sing anything, whatever comes in your head. So the very first line I sang was something about "Hang me, mother," which tickled his fancy.
Yeah.
And that's where Tuckers came from.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, so growing up, was there music in the house? How did you get involved with music?
Just naturally drawn to it from a really early age. My parents, I guess, it's probably in the genes somewhere, but they both came from large families that were flat out putting food on the table, let alone affording to pay for music lessons. But my older brother strummed a really mean rhythm guitar, and he was right into Bob Dylan and did a great Bob Dylan impression. My sister got to grade 10 on piano, classical piano, so I guess it's in the genes here.
So, okay, you're born in Alice Springs. How do you end up in this band? How do you end up in Cold Chisel?
A reasonable amount of ambition. Probably, I owe a lot to my older brother and older sister, of course, but in their day, to finish high school, you couldn't even finish high school. They didn't have the last year of high school, like sixth form or leaving, it was called over there, until 1972. So if you wanted further education, you just had to get up and you headed south. Generally, you headed to Adelaide.
Right.
That was the big smoke.
Yep.
So and it's tempting. It's scary. You've got this town, you've got all your mates you grew up with. I'll just get a trade and I'll be able to join the beers, boys every weekend for a beer. But no, there's enough drive for me to sort of, that's not going to go anywhere, and enough interest and enthusiasm for the music to head south. And Adelaide had just absolutely, in the 60s and 70s, had an absolutely amazing music scene, really, really strong scene. Lots of bands playing, lots of venues, and the whole British migrant thing had a suburb of Elizabeth where, Jimmy Barnes and John Swan were. So they brought a lot of music with them. So it just made for a fantastic environment to get going.
Chatting with Australian icon Ian Moss. Mossy, you've been part of so many big songs that are anthems really in this country. When you're putting these together with the team or solo, do you know they're absolute banger from the get-go? Is there any of those songs that you got a bit surprised by? You weren't surprised a song may go that big?
For the most part, because Don was a major songwriter, and so whenever he played anything to us, it seemed like just instant gold to our ears. But generally you feel pretty good about it. You don't want to get too cocky and say, I've got a hit here. How great am I? But you sort of got a feel for it. But you can never be sure that it's going to work. So you just there's no guarantees in this industry.
What about when you're in the band? When you're in the band and you talk, just for example, you'd say to Jimmy, you say, right, I've got this song. Is everyone pretty open to listening to each other's song, or do you? Yeah. But you don't all have to agree on it.
No, there's at times, I've come up with stuff which hadn't been that good, and they haven't held back to let me know. But thankfully, I've come up with some stuff which has worked really well. And the other thing is, because I do a fair bit of singing in Cold Chisel, and that's always been really smooth. It's been, somebody's come up with an idea, and it's just as Jim and I look at each other. That's yours for sure. Or,
right.
No, that's all yours. So that's worked out really, really well. And we've done lots of co-efforts on songs. Like Saturday Night, for example, I sing the first bit, then Jim comes in and takes over the massively high notes. And
why do you think Australians, like when we say Cold Chisel, it's just automatically you're either the top two or top band of pretty much every Australian. Why do you think that is? Where do you think the love for Cold Chisel comes from? Well,
I think it was a good band. There's some good players in the band, good singers, but that's not everything. It comes down to the songs and the attention to detail. Don Walker would write songs, and he was prolific, but he was really fussy. We'd be on the road, say doing a sound check for a gig that night, and Don would be playing through something we'd never heard before, and say, "Gee, what's that? That's really good." So, it's a new song I'm working on. Oh, sounds finished. Can we start doing it?
Yeah.
So no. There's a word in the second verse of the third in the third line of the second verse. Just not happy with. And you'd be, oh, come on, that's being overly pedantic, isn't
Right.
it? But then he might sit on that for a week or a year, and when he got it, you looked at it and said, yeah, I know why you did that now. It makes sense, and it made for a song that's going to be not popular only that year or the next. It's going to be popular forever.
Ian Moss, a legendary career. If you could go back and live, say, repeat the life of a 5-year span of that legendary career, and I'm talking specifically about your art, what would you go back to and why? What era? What's
Probably,
most fond?
look,
Do you
probably
remember?
not-
Do you remember that? Era?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, look, probably not the first 2 or 3 years because it was, there was in those days there was no one to teach you how to write a song. There's no jumping on YouTube and getting all these. You can learn anything on YouTube at any level these days. There were no schools you could go to. There's no such thing as. So you figuring out your early days. So they're rewarding in the end, but quite sort of stressful in a lot of ways because you're going, well, I don't have a job. What if this doesn't work? And I don't have a trade to fall back on. But so maybe around 76, 77, when the songs really started coming together. I mean, some of Don's first songs there were lots of great ideas in there, but they weren't. He wasn't on the game by that stage.
Right.
Till about 1976, 77, and then that's when K-San came along and a couple of things like that, and we said, oh, this is feeling good. So the part from there was, the best part was to feel really confident about these songs. The band was really starting to fire as players and lock in together as players, and that's when we started to see the crowds grow, and that's the most rewarding thing. You'd go around and around the circuit. You went to the pub one time, you had 10 people. Next time it was 100. You went again, it was 500. So just that the getting there, as they say, is kind of the most fun, rewarding part.
What about going overseas? Did you try to get into the American market?
We did, possibly just left that a little bit too late. Left it. I've got an admiration for AC/DC because they suddenly up and left. And,
Like early?
To me,
early,
relatively. And they might have had good contacts with George Young and the Easy Beat Harry Vander, perhaps, to get themselves over there. But always the reason that they looked ahead and said, we can either go around and around this country and slog it out until we burn ourselves out and then go try to start again overseas. To me, I always wonder if they thought they saw that, wisely saw that and said, let's get overseas now so we don't have to start again and do it. And that's my only little bit of a regret is that we might have left that a little bit late. Guys had started to meet future wives and so half the band were going, we've got to stick together, no women on the road, we're nearly there, and then other guys getting pretty unhappy with that idea. So coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, what a career.
But we could have, because we did do the one trip to the United States, and we killed it everywhere. But it's such a big place, you're going to, like In Excess did, they went going around and around about 4 years until you become part of the fabric.
If you could take yourself back to a performance, a certain venue, is there one most memorable?
Oh, gee, that's a hard one. One would be in America. We're on a bill in Austin, Texas, which is the home of good old, the early R&B. Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's when I first saw him. He was there in the afternoon, just playing in an early band. It was like, who the hell is this guy? So we're the only outsider band on that bill. The rest was sort of the likes of Stevie Ray Vaughan and Fabulous Thunderbirds, and we slotted in. We were on second last, I think, and we nailed it. And it was just such a warm experience because we were learning so much about how to play good R&B blues from them, and they were really hospitable. I just got absolutely fond memories of about 100,000 people, a big field outside of Austin.
Mossy, did you ask this about the best gig you've ever done? Did you answer that? No, you haven't asked that. Mossy, what's the best gig you've ever done in Australia? Is there one that just stands out? I know you've done millions, but is there one where you're just all in sync and you're all just humming together?
Geez, that's a hard one. Yeah, maybe. What was the festival that used to be run up at the Central Coast here? And
Midnight Oil play there.
Yeah,
Narara,
I think. Yeah. It could have been one of those.
Oh right, yeah. What about because I watched the documentary, and you're like a footy team or any sporting team, you get into blues and you're all arguing. Is there been one where you're just about to, before you go out on air and you can't stand one of your band members, but you just get into it anyway? Like, was there plenty of those?
Yeah, for sure. It's well documented. As Steve Prestwich, the late great Steve Prestwich, had a remarkable knack for getting under your skin.
Everyone or just you?
No, yeah, anyone. Fucking everyone. And he'd dig a needle away, but it'd always stay just the right side of where, no, you've gone too far.
Right.
Bang.
Oh, so
wow.
It always knew how to stay just that
Right.
side of it, but it just drive you fucking nuts.
We need to break. Ian Moss and
he's allowed to.
Ian Moss, mate. Why not?
You can do what you want.
We're going to break.
Aussie.
But Mossy, we'd love for you on the other side of this to knock out an absolute Tucker's daughter, Brian.
We'd like that, but whatever you want to sing.
Whatever you want to sing is up to you,
Whatever
Ian
you're
Moss.
feeling. Ian Moss, Joel Kane,
Yes.
welcome.
Welcome to our band, Ian. Let's do it.
Ready? All right, see what happens here. Hang me for a sucker on the plains out in Narrabri, swinging a hoe in a cow garden road, switting on the dangers to me. Boss man, Mr. Tucker, he's a man I don't care to defy, and him on the child, wicked and wild, seeking my company. She wants to build me up, tear me down, slap my knee bones to the ground. Me and mine gonna be around when Tucker's daughter's a memory. Hot sun is a killer. She'll be waiting down the end of my line, taking the shade with a cool lemonade, saying, boy, I want to talk to you. Boss man's only daughter, she ain't his, she'll never be mine, never be down on $1 or $2. Well, so what she's gonna do? She wants to build me up, tear me down, slap my knee bones to the ground. Me and mine gonna be around when Tucker's daughter's a memory. Build me up, tear me down. Sing along. I won't kneel till the trumpet sound, and Tucker's daughter's a memory. People born with all they need, they don't understand. Everything that you want just don't come from holding out your hand. Tucker's daughter thinks she's a slave at her command. I know you need some time yet, baby, but when the time is right, I'll just ain't your man. No, 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 no. All right. Must be your turn, guys. Build me up, tear me down, slap my knee bones to the ground. Me and mine's gonna be alright. You missed your calling.
Tucker's daughter's a memory.
You didn't. Build me up, tear me down. I won't kneel till the trumpet sound, and Tucker's daughter's a memory. Tucker's daughter's just a memory, and Tucker's daughter ain't nothing but a memory.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Ian Moss,
Mossy,
thank you
Mossy,
very much.
Mossy,
Thanks, guys.
That's
Thanks
all we can say. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for giving us, not just Brian and I, the listening audience, the staff here at SEN, mate. We have been kissed on the tush by a rainbow to have your great company.
That was the best.
thanks
That's the best 2 minutes of radio we've done in 5 years.
Yes. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks very much.
Mossy,
Thank you.
thanks,
Thank
brother.
you.
Ian
That
Moss,
was
folks,
awesome.
that is seriously something very special that we've just experienced, and we hope that you share the same sentiment.
you're still here, we'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade, but if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.
Build me up, tear me down, slap my knee bones to the ground.